joining us, national trial attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. And Michael, you know, I don't know if this anthropologist can speak to this, but I'm still struggling with the actual burn pile itself. This idea that you could burn a body on this burn pile, from all I know, and the research I actually went and did some, it takes a crematorium, a body this large, 6 foot, about 300 pounds. It would take them between 2 to 5 hours to burn at 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit. You can't get anywhere close to that on a burn pile. Maybe if you have constant accelerants, 300 degrees Fahrenheit or so. It would have taken hours and hours to burn the body. I'm still struggling with that aspect of the case.
Yeah, most people don't know that in an open air situation, a body does not burn the way people think it is. A crematorium, the reason a crematorium is important is because they put you in this tiny minuscule metal box that's burn resistant, and they have burners that come at you from top, bottom, side, and then it still takes a while, and then you're cremated. In an open pile situation, any animal, I'm sad to say that any flesh and blood animal does not burn the way that we think it is, unless you have literally an accelerant and you have hours and hours and hours. But I think that this witness, in my opinion, so far is one of the most important witnesses that the prosecution is bringing up, and I'll tell you why. I've always said on this case that there's this massive orb of reasonable doubt overlaying this case, which the defense attorney, if he's worth his salt, and I think he is going to spend his entire closing argument focusing on, which is, how is a person weighing 120 pounds able to kill a person 300 pounds in one part of the house and move him to the burn pit? I think if this anthropologist can find a way to show the jurors, for the prosecution, that here's how this person was murdered in one part of the house and how he got to the burn pit with just Melody Farris and not with a whole entire moving company, if she can find a way to do that, if she can shed some light into that, that would help the prosecution. I don't know if she will, but I think that this witness would be very important, because the biggest orb, this big orb of reasonable doubt, is how would a person, an Olympic weightlifter can only push twice their weight, how did this person push 3? But that's what the defense is going to focus on. So I think that this witness, and any witness that the prosecution brings up that can shed any light into how this person got into the burn pit, I think is important. I'm really riveted to see how this concludes.
Well, you know, and that's exactly what people are talking about online. When you look at pictures of this multi-million-dollar house, it's really misleading because it's surrounded by other mansions. It's not really a farm. It's an equestrian place, right? So anyway, he lived downstairs where there are sliding doors near the burn pit. So maybe didn't go up the stairs, maybe went out. So, but might we also have to hear from someone scientifically to talk about how hot a fire must burn and whether or not gas was tested or other accelerants?
Well, what we know is that she was tested. No accelerants were found on her, Mike. That's a problem as well. Again, if we look at what it takes to burn a body in a burn pit.
It's a massive problem. Again, there's this orb of reasonable doubt, and you just laid out a big piece of why this orb exists, right? At the end of the day, and I'm sad to be as grotesque about this as I'm going to be right now, but if you're burning an animal, I hate to say this, if you're burning an animal, you're not an experienced person, you'll notice after 30 minutes that this person still looks the same way they were 30 minutes before you started burning them. And so what you're going to do is you're going to naturally look for accelerants. You're naturally going to pour accelerants. You're going to say, there's not enough wood in the world, enough kindling in the world that I can put on. I could literally be here for days, and this is still going to be here, and it still stinks. It's difficult. You're going to find accelerants. So the fact that they did not find accelerants on her, and the fact that they've already presented evidence that there's blood stains on the stairs that were wiped out with cleaning supplies, and the fact that Scott Farris did have the physical means to actually move his body and was kind of exposed on the stand as having a financial motive, all of this stuff is creating an orb of reasonable doubt for the defense. I will tell you that this defendant is not doing herself any favor with her courtroom demeanor. They've painted her out as a villain. Her courtroom demeanor, she looks like she just doesn't have time to be there, Michael. She's got to get to dinner, pal. So I don't know why we're bothering her with this trial. But other than that, I think there's this orb of reasonable doubt that the defense, when they take the case, they're gonna slam with it.
Yeah. One short thing about that, you know, that I haven't been able to share yet because I was in that courtroom last week reporting with you and everybody. She doesn't stand for the jury. And I always find that fascinating.
Keeping her from her lunch, it looks like. You know, like she's got a lunch to go to or whatever.
You know, and then she looks like she's scowling, covering her mouth. Half the jury can't see her because of the way they're seated, and then she's constantly looking because the jury monitor is right next to her. Right. So the other jury members have to see through her to see the monitor.
So the rest of the courtroom stands and she doesn't.
She doesn't.
Wow.
Wow, crazy. With her pearls, they're too heavy.
Exactly. It's like that is really shocking to me at the end of the day. And if you put on top of that this idea, Mike, this is a line. Quick question, answer very quickly. I don't like her. Everything that I've heard about her, she seems very selfish and self-centered, not caring much about her family, more so about herself. The things she put her husband through, which seems calculated to embarrass him in some instances, I don't like her already.
Yeah, she sent a message 2 years before he died that I hope he has a gruesome death. They painted her out as a villain. I hate this woman. I've said this since the beginning of this trial. I hate this woman. They've painted her out as a villain. She's her worst enemy in this case. Her defense attorneys need to have a little bit more control. I did not know about the thing of her not standing up for the jury. That's contemptible.
Yeah,
she might actually be very nice.
Yeah, again, we don't know. We can only know by what we hear, and all we're hearing is about her. And that means I think she needs to take the stand. That's just my opinion.
I hope she does.
I don't think she will, though.
I agree.
All right, let's